welcome to ABC Interactive English. Hello everyone, I'm Mike.
Hello, I'm Kiki.
We're back here with more talking about more days and more dates. It's part 3. We're going to be looking at test time, but I think so far in the last 2 days we've gotten a pretty good idea that scheduling things is just really a part of life these days.
Yeah.
Everyone's busy, right? We're all doing different things. Some of us have more than one important activity, right? We have jobs and school, or maybe we work in different places at different times.
Yep.
And then of course, even on the weekend, unless you just decide to stay home and hang out by yourself, you'll probably be making plans for the weekend as well with friends and other fun activities, not just work and school. So do you find yourself doing this kind of scheduling, finding times and days? Is this a big part of your normal life?
Well, definitely, because there's a lot of things that happen every day, and also when you have other family members, you also have to take into consideration their days.
True.
If you need to do things together.
Yep.
You know, and just like someone I know who didn't write down special or important days.
I had it written. No, I didn't write it down.
So the way we keep our appointments and schedules are important.
Absolutely.
So, for example, I use both my phone and a physical calendar.
Ooh, you write it down on paper too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I have 2 places to remind me of when to be where.
Okay. Good. That's very, very useful and very smart.
What about you, Mike?
I try to do the same thing, but yeah, I mean, I do a lot of scheduling. I have a lot of different jobs in different places. And then, of course, my weekend activities, you know, meeting friends, playing music, doing things like that. Yep. It is a big part. And you will make mistakes, right? I mean, it does happen. The other day I showed up somewhere and I was a month early.
Oh, no.
I wrote down on the 16th of, I forget what it was, April or May, and I wrote down April. And what are you doing here, they said. And I said, I made a mistake. And so it's important to write things down.
Yeah.
It's important to stay on top of your schedule, because just if you let it get confusing and unorganized, it will be tons of trouble.
Well, whatever it is, just remember to find what's your best way of keeping track of your special days, dates, or appointments and arrangements.
Good tip. So let's check out our third dialogue. It's test time, everyone. Don't worry, it's not really test time. That's just the title of the dialogue. Janet is asking Lucas a question.
Are you ready for the math test on the 1st?
What? We have a math test on the 1st? What day is that?
It is a Friday. Do you not know about the test?
No, I know about it. However, it is on a different date in my mind.
So we're still talking about days and dates. In part C, as we mentioned, it's test time. Oh no, are we scheduling a test, or is the test actually now? We're going to find out in a second. Janet is asking Lucas a question. All right, so we have 2 characters, Janet and Lucas. What's going on? I don't know. Janet doesn't know either. So let's hope that Lucas knows.
Well, actually, Janet is checking on Lucas.
Oh, okay. What does she want to know?
She says, are you ready for the math test on the 1st?
The math test.
So there has been a test that has been scheduled for the 1st of a month. Okay, so when she said scheduled for the 1st, we know it's the first date of the month.
The first day of the next month that is coming up.
Right.
Yeah,
okay. So let's say September 1st.
Okay.
That is when the test will be.
Right. Or if we're in September and someone says, are you ready for the thing on the 1st? I would be thinking, oh, we're in September now. That must be October 1st.
That's right.
Because I don't have a time machine. I can't go back to September 1st. So if it's the 1st, it's just the first day of probably the next month. Or you could say the 1st of February or the 1st of April.
Right.
Or something, but if you just say the 1st, it's probably the next one that's coming up. And it's a big math test, so that means Lucas will have to learn his 4s, his pluses, his minuses, his divides, his x's, his pi's, his square root of 9s, all that kind of stuff. When you're solving problems using numbers and other different symbols, and you're trying to come up with more numbers to be the answer to your question with lots of numbers, you're doing math, which is, of course, the short form of the full name, mathematics. So yes, that is a very basic subject at school, along with learning some Chinese, some maybe English. You'll definitely be learning some math. You'll start off with 1 + 1 and 2 + 2. And if you're really, really, really smart, you'll end up with triangle, x, little 2, 3, dot, v, over all sorts of things that I don't understand. But it's still math. And if you're interested in doing chemistry or engineering, lots of different sciences and stuff like that, math is very, very important. And they have a lot of tests. All right, so let's get back to the dialogue and find out, is Lucas ready for this test? That's what Janet wanted to know. Lucas is not ready for the test. We know that because Lucas has no idea what Janet is talking about at all. He says, what? We have a math test on the 1st? What day is that? And he should probably throw in here, who are you? Because he clearly has no idea what's going on.
He has no idea.
He just woke up.
It's like he did. It's like,
math?
did he even go to class?
What's math?
Okay, so he has no idea about the test.
No.
He doesn't know when it is.
No.
I mean, he doesn't even know that it's happening.
He knows one thing. He'll probably fail.
Oh.
Well, at least I know that.
Well, maybe he's really good. We don't know.
No.
We'll see.
Okay.
Okay. Janet
Yes.
tells Lucas
Right.
that it is a Friday.
Oh, that's when okay, good information. Friday, math test. Yeah.
Do you not know about the test?
Right.
Lucas!
So he had no idea about the test, not even that it was happening. So she wants to know, is any of this not news? Did you know any of this stuff before?
Yeah, she's not sure if he doesn't know about it at all. Is that what's going on? Why are you
Exactly.
asking me about when or what day?
Yeah, okay. Well, the good news is that Lucas is not completely lost here. He has a little bit of idea of what she's talking about, but his information and her information are quite different. He says, no, I know about it. So he does know about the math test.
Okay.
In his mind, there was a math test in the future of some kind. But here's the problem. However, it is on a different date in my mind. Okay, so he's kind of like, oh yeah, I know about that math test, but you're saying it's the 1st of next month. I was thinking it's the 15th of next month or the 11th of next month or something like that. So the information that they have is not the same, but at least it's in the same area.
That's funny because that sounds like a story that I just heard.
Let's talk about the word different.
Okay. So it's when you
Yes.
are thinking of something that is not the same as something else. They are unlike each other, okay? They have unique properties, just like we are different people.
We are.
We have different personalities.
We do.
We are both unique. We're not the same. We are different. And just like how Lucas, Mike remembered their dates different.
Exactly. We got it all mixed up in our minds. When you use your mind in this kind of way, you're basically talking about your brain, your hard drive, the place that you store information inside your body. All right, so that's kind of what we're talking about. Not as sort of a physical thing like a doctor might be looking at it, but also not in sort of a mystical way like your soul or your spirit. You can't really see your mind, right? It's the information that your brain creates, but it is kind of, at least for us, a real place, right? It's where you put your memories, it's where you remember your friends' faces, it's where you keep all the words to songs that you didn't hear for 20 years, but they're in there. They're in your mind, they're in your memory, they're in the sort of living part of your brain that we access and use every day to get or to keep information. Part of your brain, but it's your mind. It's where your thoughts live. All right, let's take a break and then we'll be back.
What date is that?
In my mind, the test is on the 21st.
That isn't right. Well, you still have time to study.
Yes, I do. But it isn't a lot of time.
All right, we are back. And so we're in the middle of this kind of confusing conversation between Lucas and Janet. They're both in the same math class. They both agree that there is a math test coming up.
Right.
But it's a little confusing because Janet was saying it's the 1st of next month, the first day of the month coming up in the future. Lucas is like, whoa, no, I knew about the math test, but in my mind, it's on a different date. So this is kind of important, and it's funny because sometimes even when you're sure you know the date, when someone else is quite sure, suddenly you start to go, oh, wait, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I got it all mixed up. I was so sure. So now they're doing the important thing of finding out who's right, whose date is the correct date for this big math test. So that's what Janet is going to ask about.
That's important.
It's very important.
Very important. So Janet asks, what date is that?
What date is that? Meaning, what is the date that you were thinking that was in your mind that you remembered for this math test? And Lucas says, in my mind or in my memory, or this is the way I remember it, the test is on the 21st. So that's a big difference.
Wait, there's a first.
The 1st or the 21st. If it's the 21st, you have 3 more weeks to study. So it's kind of important to know. Right?
Okay, so, well, which one is it? Is it the 1st or the 21st?
Well, we're not sure yet. So,
well,
yeah.
Luckily,
Janet
knows what's going on. Janet says that isn't right. That's not the right date. It's not the 21st.
She's very sure it's the 1st.
So she's telling him, you're wrong. You remembered the wrong date, okay? But it's okay. Well, you still have time to study.
True, not as much time as if it had been on the 21st, but he still will have a few more days at least to get ready for this test.
Right, so she says that's not right. So that is incorrect. You're not remembering it correctly.
You're wrong.
You're wrong, okay? You've got the date wrong. So when you're saying something is right, that is the correct thing, or that is what is accepted by people. Okay, so in this case, she's telling him that he's not right, he's wrong.
He's wrong, that is true. And though he might be wrong, he still will hopefully have time to study. When you study, this verb is to prepare for a test or an exam or a quiz or something, or else just to go over what you have learned in school in order to remember it better, to understand it better, and to really learn it so that you don't just remember it for a few hours, take a test, and then forget about it. You'll actually remember this stuff and maybe even be able to use it in the future. So no matter what it is you like to do, or no matter what it is you have to do at school, if you are expanding your knowledge and remembering useful facts and information, by reading and by writing down notes and stuff, you are studying in some kind of way. Good for you. Back to our dialogue. Yes, Lucas says, I do. That is true. What Janet said, he does have more time to study. Yes, I do, but it isn't a lot of time. Considering he thought the test was on the 21st, but it's on the 1st, so he has 20 days less than he thought. But he might still have, hopefully, a week or so to get ready for the test because it's coming up soon.
Yeah, so that's why maybe he will have to try to figure out what is the best way for him to study for the test.
That is true. And he should also remember this is something I have learned many times by often making mistakes. Always write it down right away, right? If it's on your phone and you want to write, I'll remember that, and then put your phone away and I'll write it down in a few hours, you'll probably forget. So it's good to stop what you're doing, write it down, and then you can forget about it because it's in your book or on your phone or something like that. So stay organized, don't miss out on fun events, and we'll see, or important events like tests. And we'll see you back here sometime soon. Bye, everyone. Janet is asking Lucas a question.
Are you ready for the math test on the 1st?
What? We have a math test on the 1st? What day is that?
It is a Friday. Do you not know about the test?
No, I know about it. However, it is on a different date in my mind.
What date is that?
In my mind, the test is on the 21st.
That isn't right. Well, you still have time to study.
Yes, I do. But it isn't a lot of time.
Hello, I'm Tina. 我们来看这一课的重点单字。第一个 different 形容词不同的。May and I go to different schools. May 和我就读不同的学校。下一个单字 mind 名词头脑脑袋。My mind is full of ideas. 我的脑袋里满是想法。下一个单字 right 形容词正确的。Is that the right answer? 那个是正确答案吗？最后一个单字 study 动词学习研读。Amy likes to study with her friends. Amy 喜欢跟她的朋友一起学习。接着我们来看重点文法。第一个 A asks B a question. A 询问 B 一个问题。Ask 在这里是当作及物动词用。Question 指的是问题。我们来看看这个例句。The police officer asked him many questions. 那位警官问了他很多问题。下一个文法 Somebody is ready for something. 某人为某事做好准备。Ready 是一个形容词，意思是准备好的。注意介系词的用法必须使用 for 再加上 something。我们来看看这个例句。Are you ready for dinner? 你准备好吃晚餐了吗？最后一个文法 Does somebody not know about something? 某人不知道某事吗？也可以说 Doesn't somebody know about something? 课文中的这句 Do you not know about the test? 当中的 not 和助动词分开使用，是一种强调否定语气的用法。我们来看看这个例句。Does she not know about the meeting tomorrow? 也可以说 Doesn't she know about the meeting tomorrow? 她不知道明天的会议吗？以上就是这一课的重点单字跟文法，我们下一课再见，拜拜。
Do you have a sweet tooth? Well, when you step into a supermarket, you can easily find a dazzling display of sugar. But guess what? Back in the day, sugar was once a rare item for most of the world. Down in southern Taiwan, the land is perfect for growing sugarcane, the ingredient for sugar production. That's why the South is like the homeland of sugar. Sweet, right? Picture this. In the old days, sugar factories were the heartbeat of the lives of people in southern Taiwan, and Huwei Sugar Factory was one of them. The sugar industry is very important in Huwei. Let's take a look at some tourist attractions and constructions that are important to the sugar industry. The first is Huwei Old Station. It was Huwei Sugar Factory's railway station in the early years. It carried mostly sugarcane, but sometimes passengers. Now, it has become the Huwei Tourist Center. It provides tourists with information about Yunlin. Next, let us walk to the Huwei Sugar Factory. The factory and the industry around it create many jobs for the residents of Yunlin. The factory still produces a lot of sugar each year. If you visit it, you can see the train carrying sugarcane back and forth and enjoy the sweet smell of sugar. The nearby Tongxing Park is also worth visiting. You can see tall green trees in the park. Also, there are many great monuments to the development of the sugar industry. For instance, the Sugarcane Breed Improvement Monument is a statue of a farmer holding some sugarcane. Huwei Railway Bridge is a very important tourist attraction. It was once a wooden bridge, but later turned into a steel bridge for traffic safety and to reduce the traffic cost. It is now a historic site in Yunlin County. Those who like sugar should not miss these meaningful attractions. Huwei is like a sweet little town born from sugar, and even the air seems to be filled with a sweet aroma. Here, you might catch a glimpse of a train loaded with sugarcane, slowly moving along the rural roads, a cherished sight for the locals that brings back memories. How much sugar would you like today?